Hello and welcome back to the channel. In this edition, we'll be having a look at one of Goenka Group's company. So this company is called as SAREGAMA, which was earlier also known as HMV. And I really stumbled upon this business because one of my friends told me about this business called Tips. And I was going through Tips and I found it really interesting as to how the value chain really works in terms of these guys owning label and these guys paying upfront once the movie is created, and they go outright and buy the movie's songs from the production house. So, for example, Rocky and Rani got produced. It They spent close to 180 crore worth of money, but even before it went on release, they had recovered almost all the money from the various rights that they gave out. And one of the rights that they gave out was to Saregama Group, and they paid 30 crore. Saregama Group paid 30 crore to the producers of Rocky and Rani, and they had the outright rights for the song and the IP as well. So I was listening to a lot of management commentary around how it works, and what they really saying is that they really have to see the ROI on the songs that they buy. But Saregama has a lot of songs from Mohammad Rafi and Mukesh Kumar and a lot of these old singers as well. And they also have different products. So they also have the Caravan that uh, preloaded instrument which plays songs, which did a business of close to 30 to 40 crores recently, but obviously they are looking to phase that out. So we'll quickly jump into it. Here you can see that some of the new movies that Saregama has acquired the songs for. So Stree is something that they have. So a lot of these production houses, music labels, what they do is they also go on and begin to produce a lot of those movies, because if they do produce it, then they do not have to buy the rights for the songs, as the songs will be embedded in within their own movies. And if the song does well and the movie does well as well, then it's a double benefit for the business. So these are some of the, I think I'll have to check whether they have bought the songs or they have the movie with them as well. So Jigra is one of Alia Bhatt's recent movies that is coming out. Stree is another one, and there is one South Indian one, Kanguva. So we'll have a look at the investor presentation and try and decipher what we make of the business. So here listed within the investor presentation are some of the strengths that is listed. And so it is India's only entertainment company with IP offerings across media channels. So if you have to compare the different peers that it has, right? So T Series is very big in terms of it being a music label and how it operates. So it also has one of the biggest collection of the most recent contemporary songs. So the songs which were from 2000 to 2020, um, you can say the dominance is with T Series, and Saregama is really beginning to wake up and take notice. And it has set aside 1,000 crores for the next 3 years for acquisition of new songs and acquisition of new businesses and the like. So if you see here, IP offerings across media channels, music, films, web series, short format, and TV serials. It has a large intellectual property portfolio, 160K plus songs. I was looking at Tips and I found it really interesting. And then I did buy some stake at Tips, but then I soon began to realize that Saregama has a music collection or the IP of songs, which is almost 5 times greater. So here, Saregama has 160K plus songs, intellectual property portfolio, whereas Tips has close to 30,000 songs, IP. So Tips is basically much smaller in terms of the IP that it has, but Tips has some of the very famous older songs, and it's also entered into um, movie production as well. So Mr. Torani, who's the founder of Tips Films. And so what Tips has done is Tips has segregated the business, Tips Films and Music, into two separate entities in 2022, and now both are listed separately. So, but the reason I would prefer to buy a stake in a music label over a production house. So recently we would have heard that Mr. Adar Poonawalla bought stake in Dhamma production. I think it was for 1,000 crores. Do let me know in the comment section for how much percentage. I think if I remember correctly, it was for 50%. But yeah, do drop in the comments if you know the exact figures. And it really intrigued me that somebody who's producing vaccines went into this business. But obviously, he has a lot of cash lying with him, and he needs to invest into different businesses. And same is the case when I learned that Mr. RP Goenka owns a stake in Saregama. I did not know that, and really got me intrigued as to why these guys are beginning to own stake in such companies. But the reason is anything to do with music, the music labels have the final say in terms of even if a singer comes and sings a song, he doesn't get a penny for the song that he sings mostly. And the money that he makes is once the song becomes popular and his voice is selected for the song, then he goes on and does a lot of concerts and events. For Saregama, I think Saregama is managing Diljit's Dil Illuminati concert, and it has a share in the ticket sales. So the way that works is that they deploy capital. So if there is a event in October, they deploy capital, suppose in the month of August, and by the time the tickets are sold within a month or a couple of months, they get their money back and more. So the margins, although on that business is close to single digit profits margins, but the churning of capital is also for a very short duration of time. Um, so so here we have 160K plus IP songs. It has produced 70 plus films, 45 plus digital series, and 7K plus hours of television content. And also, as I mentioned earlier, that they have set aside 1,000 crores for acquisition and creation for the next 3 years. So it has significant capital investment strategies. It's significantly looking to dominate from here on, right? In terms of digital footprint that we see, it has 294 million plus subscribers and followers across YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. And that's a big number to have. But obviously, this, when we compare to T series, is significantly lower compared to T series. But T series is not a listed entity, but Tips and Saregama is. And in terms of the digital footprint, Saregama and Tips are pretty similar. So it also has IP for regional songs. So regional songs in Punjabi and Bengali, and so it has IP for that as well. It's investing in capabilities in data analytics and artificial intelligence, strong financial position with track record of revenue growth, margin expansion, and cash flow generation, strong licensing relationship with streaming application platform for music and videos. In terms of the key financial metrics, right? How has the revenue grown, and what is really happening? So when we are talking about 2017, right? FY 2017. If we go a little back from FY 2017, we would remember that it was the age of songs.pk and it was the age of piracy. And that piracy, very soon, as soon as things started flowing digitally, it started changing. So so the ability of a company to protect its intellectual property and keep gaining loyalties from the songs that it owns became exponentially higher. Even in YouTube, if you have their songs and you haven't taken permission for it, they have a possibility of being struck down until unless you have taken prior permission or are willing to share the income from that video or something like that. So they have a very strong foothold in terms of eliminating piracy. And because of that, we have seen a significant jump in revenue to 8,000, so 803 crore. So this is in million. So this is 803 crore. So it was sitting at 218 crore. So it has basically grown by a 20% CAGR from 2017 to 2024. In terms of the EBITDA is generating, so on a 803 crore of revenue is generating EBITDA of 302 crore, and the EBITDA itself has grown by 44%, and profit before tax has grown by 50% CAGR. It was sitting at 15 crore. Now the business generates a profit of 270.8 crores. So on a 803 crore revenue is generating a profit of 270 crores. So if even if you consider 200 crore, that is one fourth or 25%. So much higher than 25%. So in the range of 30% is something that they are able to generate as profit before tax, right? So there will be corporate tax on this, and even after that, this looks quite attractive in terms of the spread between the revenue and the profits. So this is the highlight in terms of where where the industry was and how it has evolved. So this was the age of when cassettes were highly dominant. So whenever we wanted to listen to music, there would be cassettes from Saregama or cassettes from Tips or T series that we would need to buy, and each cassette would have close to we had to turn the cassette and put it inside. So four songs or five songs each is when in 1999 it did exist, right? So so at that time it was so at that time it was a 22.2 billion dollar business, and from there on in 2023 it has reached 28.6 billion. So here we are seeing that there was a degrowth due to piracy and the like. So here and then again suddenly as soon as digitization and all those things began to pick up, these began to rise. In 2006, 2005, 2007, I was hearing the um, hearing the interview of Tips founder, and he was saying that Airtel did approach Tips for the rights of the songs that they have, and Airtel did pay them around 1 crore, and then Airtel went on to make close to 1,000 crores for the next 2 to 3 years. So how they were able to make it was on the 1 crore, the songs that they had taken, um, the caller back tune, which was prevalent at that point in time, to change the song, to change each song, it would take close to 30 to 40 rupees, and they were able to generate a lot of revenue. So he had to literally fight with these telecom operators and increase his fees that he would get for the songs that had shared with them from 1 crore to 30 crore. So that is one very interesting insight that he gave. He also said that some of the old songs that he has, so some of the songs from 1980s and mid 90s, some of the songs go on and give him close to 3.5 to 4 crore every 3 years. So he owns that for a life. The return expectation on a song, so if they do pay for the song, is close to 5 years, and then they own the song for infinity, right? So um, once the break even is arrived, so for example Rocky and Rani, they paid 30 crores for all the songs of the movie, and they got their outright rights. So they will then wait for it to hit break even by the fifth year. So obviously the different songs and different gamuts and the different popularity will be different, but the return expectation is 5 years, and from there on then they begin to make money on that. So pretty interesting business. Here we see that as we move along, as we move towards 2023, the physical market continues to decline, and uh, you will see here that out of the 28.6 billion, 19.3 billion uh, belongs to total streaming. Now, what is total streaming? Total streaming is all the streaming that is done through Spotify, Wink, and the like. So every song that you listen, the company gets 0.3 rupees, was the rate if I'm not wrong, and on that, then Spotify and the music label then do a split. And same with YouTube. On the YouTube, all the paid subscription that there is. So in the later slide, we will also see how things are moving from unpaid to paid. Earlier, what used to happen to get us used to Spotify and the likes, the company really came out with free content, and then they slowly introduced advertisements, and they made it super irritating for us to keep hearing advertisements. Hence, what they did was they said that if you pay 100 or 150 rupees per month, we will let go of the advertisement. And same they did with YouTube Premium. So the share of people who are willing to not watch a 15 or a 20-second or a 30-second ad on Nivea or cream companies or this and that company has exponentially risen. Also, the screen time of people has exponentially risen. So paid subscription is something which people are taking to. So if we look here, this is the streaming's rapid rise to mass adoption. Streaming accounted for 67% of global recorded music revenue in 2023. That's a big number. I think what they're saying is close to so the number of users worldwide which are paying for music streaming subscription at the end of respective years has grown from 8 million in 2010 to 667 million in 2023. That's a big jump, and this number is continually continuously expected to move higher. As we know, the data costs in India are one of the lowest, and the mobile penetration is on a rise. So there'll be a lot of people who would be willing to pay for these subscriptions. And if they are paying for the subscription, or even if they are not, what is happening is there's a lot of advertisements which are being run on these digital platforms. Now, when these advertisements are run on the digital platforms, the music labels do make a decent cut. And as we had seen that whatever is the spend that they're doing, they're getting more than 25% as profit before tax. So it's a very interesting proposition that everything is done, and just because you have the cash, you have the cash flow, you get to own the artists, you get to own a lot of the artists work that they have for life. Arijit Singh, if you have signed him up, you will have his songs forever. He will have to pay royalty to you for doing concerts that he does. So there will be a cut that he will pay for doing the concerts. Everywhere that your song is given out, or everywhere a movie that is created is given out to satellite channels, you would be getting money on that. And what now they're also getting into is they're getting into artist management as well. So they're willing to spend for example, a movie, us or a song, and they sign a contract for a song, and they groom the artist, and they try and give him the platform and see whether that artist becomes big or not. If they do become big, then they have a lot of rights on that artist, unfortunately. But they do have the rights on that artist, and they continue to make significant money on them for periods to come. Obviously, not all artists will perform, but that's how the capital allocation is done. That they will go gradual. They will do one song contract, and slowly, once the singer becomes big, then they can get into a 50-50% joint venture also, because then that will reduce the capital strain on the business, and also allow it to do more work with smaller artists, because they will charge a lower rate. So they can get a lot of pool of these smaller artists. So there are also examples of individual artists, like they are called indie artists. So for example, Pratik Kuhar is an example of an individual artist. All the songs that he puts on Spotify, or all the music streaming channels that there are, Amazon Music or those kind, he is the one who directly gets the revenue. He can sign up with big labels for visibility for future contracts, but then he would have to share the revenue that there is. But the bigger the artist, the greater the what do you call negotiating power, and it all boils down to negotiating power. So here we look at the India media and entertainment sector is expected to grow at 10% per annum on the back of digitization. Saregama has a play in multiple verticals of the sector. So as I was talking about artist and influencer management, that is something that the business has gone to. The industry size is close to 1875 crore. Next 3-year growth projected is close to 15.8%. Due to shift in consumer behavior, there's an upward inclination on advertisements by relatable individuals rather than traditional celebrities. Brand focus on driving awareness and engagement through influencers. So YouTube is a big part of this artist and influencer management. They give chance to all the small artist coming from Punjab, give him a one song, a rap song, and see how it goes. If it does go viral, then sign him up for multiple contracts in the future, and then uh, not pay him, and then he goes on and creates a lot of concerts, and then you keep getting royalty back. So live events, if we see, it's 8,800 crore. So significantly bigger than artist and influencer management. And the next 3 year growth is projected to be 17.6%. We all have seen what has happened to Coldplay tickets, and we have seen what has happened to Dil Illuminati tickets. So Saregama is the manager of the Dil Illuminati concert, and this is definitely expected to grow by a significant percentage. So the drivers really are rising disposable income, lack of entertainment options, improvement in infrastructure. In terms of music, the industry size is 2,400 crore, and the next 3 year growth is expected to be 14.7%. The drivers are 750 million smartphones. So all these smartphones are going on to YouTube and listening to the favorite songs. So these companies do also own a lot of the regional songs as well. So in Bengali, in Bhojpuri, in you name it, Telugu, Tamil. So all the regional um, audience that there is, they cater to them as well. So they have a huge footprint in terms of the number of people that they reach and the amount of followers that they have. So and also the repeatability of music is super high. So we'll talk about that in the later slides as well. So there's been data has become cheap. There's fallen piracy. Streaming is turning pay. So earlier streaming was free, as I discussed, and then later on they bombarded us with advertisements, and now it's beginning to really um, turn into a pay and then get rid of the advertisement basically. There's a significant growth in digital advertising as well. So digital advertising, any ads that are run on YouTube or any ad that is run on Spotify, these labels do make a cut of that as well. So, and this digital advertising is slotted to pick up by huge proportions, because the traditional advertising that earlier that was TV and radio, have really taken a hit, and digital advertising is growing by leaps and bounds. Digital advertising, here you can see biggest driver in digital advertising grew by 15% last year to INR 576 billion. So here they are mentioning about the India's influencer marketing industry. And as we can see that where it was in 2022, um, it was at 150 crore, and right now it's sitting at close to 337 crore. Um, Also in terms of the channel, right? Instagram and YouTube are the most preferred platforms to consume content from influencers. So here we see Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. These are the top three. Snapchat coming fourth, and then we have the other ones. If you look at the company numbers, uh, as we had discussed, the company did a FY24 revenue of 803 crore. And if you look at the split is 68%. So yeah, so 68% would be that is the music licensing. Um, Events is very small. So this is events. It was at 49 crore, and this would be fluctuating in nature, right? So this went down to 13.4 crore for Saregama. So that contributed just 2% of the segmental revenue. Um, Videos, films, and TV digital content contributed 14%, and music retail that contributed close to 16%. So the music retail, I believe, would be the Caravan hardware that is being sold. Again, the Caravan. So here you can see that it sold close to 13 crore of that in FY24, and the business is really looking to make some changes to the way that hardware is sold. So they're looking to phase it out. They're looking to not sell it in brick and mortar stores. They are looking at more internet sales for music caravan. So So this should phase out. This should phase out, and this they have big plans for it. And as they've set up money for it, um, so that'll be interesting to see. So here we can see all the partners that there are. So all the companies that it's associated with. So the broadcasting partners, music plus film plus series, all the musics or series or films are all going through these channels. So Star, Sony, Viacom 18, and these are some of the streaming partners: Spotify, JioSaavn, Ghana. So all of this is revenue creating opportunity for Saregama. And social media platform, these are all the social media platform that it is available in, YouTube, Facebook, so everything. And video streaming partners, obviously, all that are available: Z5, I think Disney Hotstar, all the top ones that are there. Discovery Plus as well, Zio Studio. So it's given its IP music to wherever possible, and this number is going to keep increasing in terms of both the volume of things that they own and also the volume of things that they can give to. So both are expected to increase. So that should see exponential growth for the business. So here they're talking about, I think, licensing plus artist management. So we'll just quickly see um, music licensing. I think this is because it being the biggest segment. Here they have mentioned the YouTube subscribers currently as at Q4 FY24 sitting at 107 million. So that is 10.7 CR. Saregama Music, the YouTube channel has close to 4.8 CR, and there are other channels as well that should contribute to this 10.7 CR, right? And it's expected to grow to 112 CR in Q1 of FY25, and so 11.2 CR in Q1 of FY25 and 12.6 CR in Q2 of FY25. In terms of the YouTube views, currently there are 84 billion YouTube views on the content that Saregama puts out. And this is expected to go up to 150. Also, they have put an asterisk saying that this significant jump will be because of YouTube Shorts dominating the consumption and not the YouTube video. So aberration due to significant increase in YouTube Shorts for a major releases like Bad News and Street 2 in Q2 of FY25. So this is because of the shorts number being really high. So here we look at some of the things that they own, right? So OTT, there has been a progressive shift as paid subscription replaces free consumption. So some of the brand licenses that there are: Mahindra Thar, Dabur, Lux, Pond's Body Lotion, and Enamor. Digital content licenses. So here, O Saathi Re is the Netflix series that they own. Khel Khel Mein is something that they produce. Film sync licenses, license songs for, okay, so not the movie that they own, but the songs that they own. Khel Khel Mein in Hindi. So these are some of the things that they have in music licensing business. So here we see some of the songs which went chart busters. So and they have listed out one weekly top songs in global India and UAE. So this song that was at Toba Toba and Janam, and so all these are very important because the more loved that these songs are and the more that they're consumed means the company will be able to rake in more of the money. So it's a very intriguing and I think exciting business. And within Telugu, Tamil, and Malayalam as well. So they are hitting the top spots for in various streaming platforms. So here we are talking about music streaming, um, music licensing growing faster than competition on YouTube consumption. So this is the year-on-year percentage growth. Okay, C1 is competitor one competitor. So they haven't named the competitor, but they have laid it out here. Not too sure, I think, how this works. So we'll just skip this, I think, for now. So these are some of the songs that were released. This Diljit, and I think some of the songs in Jigra, and some of the lesser known movies. But yeah, sometimes the movie doesn't do well and the song really goes on to do really well. Yeah, some of the things that they are dishing out. So in terms of artist management, these are some of the artists that they are currently managing. And these are, I think, Viraj. They are working with Viraj Ghilani. They are doing some show with him. So all these artists are being managed by Saregama. So this is the Carvaan sales that I was talking about, and it had touched 2 lakh units in Q3 of FY24, and in Q2 of FY25 they did 108, so 1 lakh 8,000 units, and this will begin to slowly phase out. Mostly it was used for gifting in the price range of 5 to 6, 6 to 7,000. Uh, they will transition from sales through distribution channel to sales only through e-commerce and modern retail outlets. So filter copy is something that they own as well. So it has a subscriber 22 million plus. Nutshell is something that they own. Dice is they own as well, and Gobble is also something that they own. So talking about events, so Dil Illuminati India Tour 2024, Saregama. So they handle the Delhi tour. The tour has already broken records, becoming the fastest selling and highest grossing concert event in Indian history. So, and 4 shows of Viraj Gilani, that's so Viraj with Friends, is something that they are also involved in. I think what else can we see? So, I think that's it on the investor presentation side. Do let me know in the comment section what you think about the business, and any other company that you would want me to analyze. Hope you have a lovely day ahead. Thank you and goodbye.